welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Teacher Ryan and we are now in episode 4 in our Subject-Verb Agreement exercise. So before anything else, if you're new in this channel, don't forget to click to subscribe and smash the notification down below for more updates for my upcoming videos. So today we're going to talk about inverted order in a subject-verb agreement manner. So let's first talk about what is an inverted order. So an inverted order is a sentence order where the phrases, clauses, and some other words are actually written at the beginning of the sentence. These phrases are prepositional phrases, adverbial word such as here and there, and some other words. Okay, what's the reason why there's an inverted order? So the reason behind why there is an inverted order in the sentence, to give an emphasis or prominence of the particular detail that will modify or describe back to that subject. Okay? So our task for this day, we're going to locate where the subject is and how it functions in relation to the verb and how they agree each other. So I have here 9 sentences with the inverted order. Okay, later on, we'll be replacing, change, we will transform it in a natural order. Okay? So let's begin with sentence number 1. So here is our list of grocery items to buy on your way home. So this is an example of inverted order. So the clue here is where can you find the subject? The subject is found after the verb because the first word or phrase at the beginning of before the verb is actually a indication that is an inverted order. So here is not our subject, but rather than an adverb of place here. So our subject is found after the verb. So after the verb is, what is your subject? It's just the word a list. Because of grocery items, it's actually is a preposition phrase that will describe back the word, the phrase, a list. So a list, grammatical function, it is singular and requires a singular verb. So, yes. Number 2, there are several reasons why Manny should reconsider his decision. So, there is not our subject, that is an adverbial place. So, our subject is found after the verb. Several reasons. So, several is a clue word that is plural, functioning as an adjective describing the word reasons. So reasons, the word reasons is plural. So we need a plural verb. So these two are actually adverb, manner of adverb. Why? Because the adverbs are actually placed here. So in natural order, several reasons why Manny should reconsider his decision are there. And here, a list of grocery items to buy on your way home is here. Okay, let's continue. In the refrigerator is a plate of bahaw and an open can of sardines. So what do you mean by bahaw? A bahaw is a leftover food. So you store it inside the refrigerator. Okay, and then you're going to eat that later on. So let's look at. In the refrigerator is an indication that this is an inverted order because it begins not just an adverb, it begins with a prepositional phrase. A preposition phrase, it begins with a preposition together with the other words or what they call a phrase. Is an R, plate of bahaw, and an open can of sardines. So the subject is found after the verb, a plate of bahaw. And now as you can see here, there is a conjunction N, or known to be as coordinating conjunction. So in my previous video, we talked about compound subject, and it is actually joined by AND. So our subject is a plate and an open can. So to make a complete subject, we have a plate of bahaw and an open can of sardines. So that's plural, and we need a plural verb. So the plural verb here is are. So the natural order of the sentence is a plate of bahaw and an open can of sardines are in the refrigerator. Okay? Next, number 4. Here comes the bride. Nearby stands the groom. Here, let's look at. Here is an adverbial place. So, comes the bride. The word bride is our subject, and it is singular and requires a singular verb. Now, this is not an auxiliary verb. Comes are actually our main verb. So, comes, singular subject requires a singular verb. How does a singular verb look like? It ends in es or s. So, here comes bride. Okay? Next, nearby stands the groom. The same thing will happen. The groom is singular, and our verb is singular verb that ends in s. Next, in distant galaxies far from Earth, lives aliens and unknown civilization. If your sentence begins in a preposition phrase, so that will give you a clue that is an inverted order, and that is not your subject. Your subject is found after the verb. So, aliens and unknown civilization is our subject, and this is a kind of compound subject. Compound subjects. So, it is plural and we need a plural verb. A plural verb in the present form, it does not end in s. Okay? Next, when your parents gets home, there are going to be trouble over the bottles of beer. Now, this clause going to be a subordinating clause because it begins with subordinating marker with the subject and the verb. So this is not an inverted, however, it is placed at the beginning to signify that there's really something to happen after this. Okay? So when your parents is our subject, plural, and requires a plural verb in present form. So, get home. So there is going to be trouble over the bottles of beer. You might be thinking the bottles of beer is your subject, but that is not. Why? Because it is part of the preposition phrase over. Now, where do you think is our subject? Our subject here is, okay, to be trouble. Okay, why is that to be trouble? As we all know, the to plus the verb, it is what we call as infinitive. Infinitive like to see, to believe, to eat. There's a famous line, to be or not to be. Or to see is to believe. So to see, to plus the verb, is actually infinitive phrase, an infinitive form. Yes, and they can function as a noun, as a adjective, or another adverb. But in this case, it becomes a noun here. So this is singular in form. So we need a singular verb is. So when your parents get home, there is going to be trouble over the bottles of beer. Number 7. Over the hills and through the woods are the way to the springs and caves of Biak na Bato. So Biak na Bato is actually one of the nicest places here in the Philippines. So anyway, so sorry, over the hills and through the woods is a preposition phrase. It begins with the preposition over along with the other words. Now, where do you think is our subject here? Our subject is the word or the phrase, the way. Not to the springs and caves of Biak na Bato, because to is a preposition along with other words. So that is not our subject. Our subject is the way. So the way is a singular and requires a singular verb. Is. Very good. Next, number 8. From ABC colleges all over the country comes the student delegates. Now, where do you think is our subject? Student or delegates? Or student delegates? Correct. Your answer is student delegates. Okay. So that is a compound subject. A compound, yes. Compound noun. So student delegates, plural, and requires a plural verb. Come. Okay. In a Palawan cave forgotten for hundreds of years, it begins with a preposition that will signal us that is a inverted order. Lie lies the stone tools made by the Tabon man. So, what do you think is our subject here? Not stone, but the phrase, entire phrase, stone tools. Tools that are uh, in, made by made by the Tabon man. So stone tools that are made in stone. Right? So that is plural. How do you know that is plural? Because it ends in S, and in the present form we need a plural verb, lie. So if you're going to convert this into natural order of the sentence, it looks like this. The stone tools made by the Tabon man lie in the Palawan cave forgotten for hundreds of years. So same thing will happen to the rest of the sentences. We will just read the natural order from the subject after the verb, and then you place the verb, and then the rest will follow, like the prepositional phrase or the adverbial case. Okay? So as a conclusion, invented order is a sentence order where the prepositional phrases, adverb, and some other words are placed at the beginning of the sentence, follows by a verb and the subject and the complement, and the subject and the rest of the information. Okay, so if you have any question regarding this topic, you can just comment below, and if you have any recommendations, suggestions, or improvements about this video, you can. Okay, so thank you so much guys, and see you in my next episode. Bye bye.